Hi guys, I'm Leo, welcome to Wrestling Retrospective, and in this video I'll be doing my predictions for NXT Stand and Deliver. So first off, on the countdown to Stand and Deliver, we will have Shawn Spears versus Joe Gacy. For me, I want to go with Shawn Spears to get the win here, but due to the fact that he has only recently come back, and though he did suffer a pretty decent loss to Dijak, I think it was, to compete for the North American Championship. I do feel like they're going to try and build him up a little bit more, maybe towards the North American Championship once again. And, you know, to start off, he would need to get a win here against Joe Gacy. I also feel like Joe Gacy, as good as I think he is, and I'm quite a big fan of Joe Gacy, I feel like losses don't exactly hurt his character in any kind of way, because he prefers suffering and whatever. So yeah, for me, I feel like it makes the most sense that they're going to push Shawn Spears as kind of a newer guy on the roster, or returning guy on the roster. He would need to get a big win here at Stand and Deliver, even though it's only on the pre-show part of the night itself, or afternoon, if you will. Following that, we have a 6-woman tag team match between Thea Hale, Fallon Henley, and Kiana Jordan, taking on the team of Jacy Jayne, Kiana James, and Izzy Dame. For me, I feel like Team Thea Hale, so Thea, Fallon, and Kalani are going to get the win here. I feel like they're going to go for a big babyface win and have, pretty much throughout the whole story of Jacy versus Thea, Jacy's kind of got the better of Thea Hale throughout, since turning on Chase U and all that. And I feel like here's going to be like the place where Thea gets her own back, and I would assume that Thea gets the win via submission on Jacy Jayne. Unless they want to carry the story on, then Thea would get, maybe tap out Dame instead. But for me, I feel like it's going to be a really action-packed match. All women in this match are really good. For me, though, Kiana James has taken a huge step back here. She was having, main matches on, Halloween Havoc with Roxanne Perez, and where Roxanne Perez is elevated to the main event scene, she's kind of taken a step down and is now not the leader of a team that I thought she was going to be, but she's taken a secondary role to Jacy Jayne in this team, which I think is a shame. I feel like they could have maybe put someone else in this spot instead, but yeah, for me, disappointed that Kiana James is taking a step back here, but I feel like the match itself is going to be quite good, very action-packed. But yeah, I fully expect Thea Hale's team and Thea Hale herself to get the win in this one. Following that, the NXT Championships are on the line as Bron Breakker and Baron Corbin defend the titles against Nathan Frazer and Axiom. For me, I have Frazer and Axiom to get the win here, pretty much because Bron Breakker is signed with SmackDown, and he's probably going to get a decent push on SmackDown as well. Therefore, they probably want to get the NXT titles off him. Maybe he stays down in NXT a little bit longer and has a feud with Baron Corbin after but Corbin turns on him after the match or something. But I don't see why that would be necessary. I feel like, after WrestleMania, Bron Breakker concentrates fully on the main roster now, leaves NXT, which is well overdue in my opinion, and we have new NXT Tag Team Champions in the absolute fantastic to watch, Nathan Frazer and Axiom, who their in-ring style is absolutely incredible. And I feel like the clashes of style of powerhouses of Breakker and Corbin taking on the high flyers of Axiom and Frazer is going to be very good to watch. And yeah, I said it could be a dark horse for match of the night. But yeah, for me, I think there's going to be new tag team champions, basically because Bron Breakker is going to go onto the main roster and get a push on there. Therefore, they won't want a title from NXT on him anymore. Following that, we have a triple threat match between a defending champion in Overfemi taking on Josh Briggs and Dijak for the North American Championship. For me, I have Overfemi to retain here. I feel like the people in NXT behind the scenes have a lot of investment in Overfemi, and for me, it is very justified. He's very good in the ring. I very much look forward to the match. I know that Dijak is very over right now, the fans especially on Twitter. But yeah, I can't see him getting the title here. I feel like they're going to push Overfemi a little bit more and then maybe have him drop the title and go into the world title scene instead. But for now, I feel like he's having a really good run. We're still very early in, it feels as well. Therefore, they probably want to have a established reign before having him lose the title and move up to the main event scene, as I am assuming. But yeah, again, I think it's going to be a really hard-hitting match. Josh Briggs has blown me away with how good he's been as a singles guy. I really didn't think much of him when they split up the team of him and Jensen, but man, he's been brilliant, and he's fully deserving of this kind of championship spot on the biggest show of the year for NXT. And yeah, I look forward to seeing what he's got, going into the future, but I can't see him winning the title here. As for Dijak, like, as good as he is, and he is very good, I can't see them taking the title off Obafemi here. There's so much investment in him, or at least it seems that way, that it makes perfect sense to keep the title on him for a little bit longer. Following that, we have Lyra Valkyria defending the NXT Women's Championship against Roxanne Perez. For me, I have Lyra Valkyria to get the win here. I can't see them putting the title back on Roxanne Perez. If anything, she may lose here to set up a push into the main roster. Though, as I've said in videos before, I can't see how she would fit into the main roster. I feel like she's too small and would simply just get lost in the shuffle, in my opinion. But I am open to having my mind changed and me be wrong, but I just can't see her fitting in well with the main roster. Therefore, I'm not sure what she does after she does lose. But as I said, I just can't see Lyra losing it here. Like, I feel like Roxanne Perez's time has kind of come and gone. She's been NXT champion, NXT Women's Champion, and I know throughout the whole feud, I just don't feel like Roxanne's going to return to a championship role. So yeah, I know, for me, I think it's going to be a very good match. I feel like they probably should have put some stipulation on it, but I don't feel like it relatively needs it, but it would have been preferred in my opinion. But again, dark horse match of the night, but a fair few of these are. But yeah, so for me, Lyra Valkyria to retain the NXT Women's Championship here. Following that, we have Ilya Dragunov defending the NXT Championship against Tony D'Angelo. For me, I have Ilya Dragunov to retain the NXT Championship here because I simply do not see Tony D'Angelo as NXT Champion or main event caliber at all at this moment in time. I feel like he needed much more of a push. He's only just lost the tag team titles and now he's in the main event scene, and I don't know, it just doesn't sit well. I don't think this match is also going to be any good. I know that Ilya can bring the best out of pretty much everybody, but I don't know, but I just don't have, I kind of lost interest in the world title scene when Tony D'Angelo became the one contender, because I didn't believe the fact that he could be a world champion and should be in the main event scene, as I've said. So for me, I have Ilya to retain. I also have heard, there's been rumours and stuff that WWE want to push Ilya like they have Gunter when he comes up to the main roster. And as Gunter is still on, he feels like he's still in the same role he was when he came up from the main roster, being Intercontinental Champion and all. I feel like it's still going to be a fair few months before we get Ilya come up to the main roster. Therefore, why not just keep the NXT title on him, have him have banger matches with others throughout the few months longer into the year, and then bring him up maybe around SummerSlam. But for me, I don't believe that. I don't believe Angelo is World Championship ready. Therefore, I have Ilya to retain here. And finally, in the main event, we have Carmelo Hayes taking on Trick Williams. For me, I have Trick Williams to get the win here. I feel like he is fully deserving of it. I also feel like, similar to Bron Breakker, Carmelo Hayes is going to be set to go onto the main roster and kind of have more concentrated stuff on there now, and kind of solidify himself as main roster kind of ready and all that good stuff, which leads to him, in my opinion, passing the torch to Trick Williams as far as kind of being Mr. NXT, if you will. It was Bron passed it on to Carmelo should pass it on to Trick Williams here, a similar way to like Gargano and Balor and Zayn beforehand. And yeah, I feel like it's going to be a really good match. Carmelo Hayes, I don't think, can have a bad match, and Trick had a very good one against Ilya Dragunov, which changed my mind about Trick Williams being able to have like high caliber matches. And yeah, I feel like it's well deserving of its main event position. It's been probably one of the more compelling stories on NXT television for the last few months. So yeah, I think it's all worked out perfectly, and all this feud really needs now is a banger match to finish it, and I think we're going to get it 100% at the main event of Stand and Deliver. But for me, as I've said, Trick Williams to get the win here and kind of become the new face of NXT without the championship kind of thing. And yeah, as I said, looking forward to the main event. So those are my predictions for NXT Stand and Deliver at the weekend. Do put down in the comments who you think is going to win. Any other moments you think is going to happen over the weekend as far as NXT goes. And yeah, I hope you all enjoy the show itself. Obviously, it's going on in the afternoon before WrestleMania, which I've always thought is a very risky side to go with, especially as NXT isn't like the powerhouse I think it once was, in my opinion. But I do enjoy NXT as well. But yeah, I hope you all enjoy the show, and I will like you all to like and subscribe and comment and share and follow the Instagram, follow me on Twitter if you want, all that good stuff. And I will see you guys in the next video, which will be tomorrow, doing my WrestleMania predictions. So do tune in for that. But I will thank you again for watching, and I'll see you guys later.